Students, welcome all of you. In this lecture, we are going to start new point, that is exchange of gases. We are studying breathing and exchange of gases for standard 9. This is the part 3 of the topic breathing and exchange of gases. In the part first and part 2 of breathing and exchange of gases, we have studied about. In part first, we have studied about the respiratory system of human being and how is the respiration important for living organism. Then also we have studied about the parts of the respiratory system of human being, what is the function of each and every part of the respiratory system, and the importance of respiration. We have studied this in the part first. In part 2, we have studied about the mechanism of breathing and the whole process as respiration, because breathing is the part of respiration and respiration is the whole process in which breathing is the first part, which is involved in inhalation of air and exhalation of air. After that, we are studying, means we have already studied in part 2 that how respiration takes place, means how energy is generated by the each and every body cell by utilizing the available oxygen supply to it. Yeah, so that we have studied, and also we have studied how inhalation and exhalation takes place while we are breathing, and the related capacities and volume of the lung, various capacities and volume of the lung we have studied in the previous lecture. In this lecture, what we'll study? Exchange of gases. So in the last lecture, I have just highlighted that what is the exchange of gases. Now we'll study that process in details. In exchange of gases, what is important is PO2 and PCO2. PO2 and PCO2. So all of you know that what is PO2 and PCO2. PO2 is partial oxygen and PCO2 is a partial carbon dioxide. So what is the meaning of partial? So it is the partial pressure of the gas, oxygen or carbon dioxide. So what is partial pressure? The pressure applied by the particular gas. Suppose example oxygen. The pressure applied by the oxygen in the mixture of gases, because oxygen is present in the air, and what is air? Air is a mixture of gases. So in that mixture of gases, the pressure applied by the oxygen is partial pressure of the oxygen, and same is case with the carbon dioxide. The pressure applied by the carbon dioxide in the mixture of gases is a partial pressure, and it is related with the atmospheric pressure. How it is related with the atmospheric pressure we have studied last time. Is atmospheric pressure, because when there is a imbalance in the partial pressure of the oxygen or carbon dioxide and atmospheric pressure, so balance and imbalance of both partial pressure of O2 CO2 and atmospheric pressure, it helps for breathing, inhalation and exhalation of gases. Yeah, so here I have shown you the respiratory system, how respiration takes place and how exchange of gases takes place in the human respiratory system, the whole respiratory system. So let me tell you that how actually the process is involved in exchange of gases. See, first of all, breathing. How breathing takes place? When the partial pressure of oxygen, or suppose partial pressure of air inside the lung is lower than the atmospheric pressure outside the lung. What I am saying? Partial pressure in the lungs, the air pressure inside the lung is higher, and the atmospheric pressure is slightly less than the pressure present in the lungs. So due to that, the air is released out because outside pressure is slightly less than the pulmonary pressure. What is pulmonary pressure? The pressure inside the lungs. Pressure of air inside the lung is a pulmonary pressure, and the pressure of air in the atmosphere is atmospheric pressure. So when pressure of air, pulmonary air pressure increases slightly more than the atmospheric pressure, then all the air from the lung is released out into the atmosphere. So it leads to the exhalation, that is called also called as expiration. And what is inhalation? When the atmospheric pressure is higher than the pulmonary pressure, then air moves inside the lungs. So in this way breathing takes place. Then when air comes in the alveoli, alveoli is the functional and structural unit of the respiratory system. It is present in the lung. They are in the bunch like or looking like bunch of grapes. They are in bunch, and that bunch look like a bunch of grapes. So from that single sac of alveoli we have considered over here. So when air enters into the alveoli, there is a high concentration of oxygen. See, 104 ml per Hg is the partial pressure of oxygen, and very less concentration of the carbon dioxide, that is 40 mm of Hg. So it is carbon dioxide is less and partial pressure of oxygen is more. So what happens? This air and the oxygen from the air gets mixed with the blood of the human being. Okay, so here we have represented that oxygen is absorbed into the blood and it enters into the circulation with the help of left side of the heart. So left side of the heart has a oxygenated blood, and right side of the blood, right side of the body is the oxygenated blood. So in the left side, oxygenated blood, because oxygen is absorbed from the alveoli into the blood and it goes to the auricle of the heart, and that pumps oxygenated blood into the ventricle, and that is supplied to the body cells. Now what happens in body cells? The present O2 in the blood, O2 is present in the blood here, is supplied to the body. So when it is supplied to the body, what body cells are doing? They utilize all O2. This O2 is utilized by the body cells. Here I have represented, and it releases the CO2 out into the blood. So in this way, O2 when enters into the body, it releases the CO2 that is getting mixed with the blood, and now this blood becomes deoxygenated blood. It becomes deoxygenated blood that is again sent back to the lungs by the pulmonary artery, and CO2 is released from the alveoli that I have represented. Expired air means exhaled air. So CO2 is released in the exhalation or expiration, and O2 is inspired or inhaled in the process of breathing. So in this way, the exchange of gases takes place. So what is the mechanism of exchange of gases? This is the alveoli. When air is inspired or inhaled inside the alveoli sac, there is high concentration of O2 and less concentration of CO2. So the high concentration of O2 is absorbed into the circulatory system, into the blood. It goes to the right side of left side of the heart. Left side of heart possesses oxygenated blood. Then that blood is supplied to the body. So body cells absorb all the O2 because they are deficient in oxygen, because they have produced CO2. So they release the CO2 and O2 is absorbed into the cell. Why this process also occurs in the case of the circulatory system, means artery and the body cells, because here concentration of O2 is less and concentration of CO2 is more, and in blood concentration of oxygen is more and CO2 is less. So CO2 is accepted by the blood and O2 is given to the body cells. So here also the exchange can take place in this way. So when it is oxygenated blood, see, partial pressure of oxygen is how much? 95 mm Hg. 95 mm Hg, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 40 mm Hg in the artery. And in case of well, we have seen that the partial pressure of oxygen decrease because O2 is utilized by the body cells. So it has become 40 mm of Hg, and TCO2 is 45 mm per Hg in the well. So it is higher, slightly higher than the oxygen itself. So that is deoxygenated blood that is exhaled out in the atmosphere. The next point that we are going to study is the alveoline pulmonary capillary. Exchange of gases in the alveoli and pulmonary capillary. So in the lungs there are so many capillaries. It's a network of blood capillaries actually. Pulmonary capillaries, because the blood from heart to lungs and lung to heart is supplied with the help of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. So the function of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein is opposite of normal artery and normal vein. Normal artery carry oxygenated blood, and normal vein carry deoxygenated blood. But in case of pulmonary artery or pulmonary capillary, it carry deoxygenated blood towards the lungs to oxygenate it, to mix the oxygen into it. And pulmonary vein carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. So that is the function and specification about the pulmonary capillary. So pulmonary capillary, here I have represented. This is the alveolar sac. Now the actual exchange between the lungs and the circulatory system will study now. What happens when air is inhaled by the human being? It comes into the nasal cavity, then pharynx, and then into food pipe. This windpipe, sorry, windpipe is also called as the trachea. Let me repeat. When air is inhaled by the human being, it comes into the nasal cavity, then the pharynx, then the windpipe. Windpipe is also called as trachea. Trachea divides into two branches for left and right lung. That is called as bronchi. When bronchi are divided into branches, they are called as bronchioles, and they enter inside the lungs and represent a branching of the bronchi, that is called as bronchioles. And to the terminal end of the bronchioles, there is an attachment of alveoli, a bunch of alveoli, which looks like a bunch of grapes. Yeah. So from that single sac and single capillary we have represented over here, and we'll study the exchange of air in alveoli and the blood capillary. So when air enters inside the alveoli, high concentration of oxygen, less concentration of carbon dioxide. So the oxygen is absorbed by the RBCs present in the blood capillary, and whatever the carbon dioxide is carried by this capillary is released into the alveoli. So they release CO2 into the alveoli. Whatever air is inhaled inside, it possesses the O2. So in this way, CO2 gets released out in the atmosphere, and oxygen moves inside the alveoli, and that oxygen is absorbed into the RBC. This is the RBC, and this then is sent back to the heart by the with the help of pulmonary vein. Yes. So Now we'll study the structure of the alveoli sac and the capillary and the layering of the alveoli and capillary. See, the wall of the alveoli is made up of squamous epithelium type of cells. It is squamous epithelium type of cells. Then the middle portion, which is acting as an attachment of the alveoli and the blood capillary, so that is called as basement membrane. Okay, it is a basement membrane. Hmm? So basement membrane is in between the wall of alveoli and the wall of blood capillary for the proper attachment with each other and for the exchange of O2 CO2. It is very important. Then the wall of the blood capillary is made up of endothelium. It is made up of endothelium. And the thickness from the wall of alveoli to the wall of endothelium is less than 1 mm. That thickness is less than 1 mm. Yes. So in this way, the oxygen and carbon dioxide pass through this squamous epithelial wall of the alveoli, then it enters into the endothelium with the help of this basement membrane. So basement membrane and then the endothelium layer. So these three barriers, they are not very complex barriers, but they are barriers and they are very simple type of barriers because squamous epithelial layer is made up of single cell, so it is very thin. Basement material is just attachment for the attachment of alveoli and the blood capillary, and endothelium of the blood capillary is also very thin, so there is a easy exchange of O2 CO2 between the layers. So this is the exchange of gases at the level of alveoli and blood capillary, means from lungs to the blood capillaries or blood stream, and here I have represented the exchange of gases from lung to the circulatory system, from circulatory system to the body tissue, again back from body tissue to the blood and circulatory system, and from blood again back to the lungs. So in this way, exchange of gases we have studied. So if you have further doubts for both the points, you can ask it on the group. Yes. The next point is transport of gases. This is exchange of gases and this is transport of gases. How gas is exchanged in lung and blood system, blood circulatory system, and also from blood circulatory system to the body tissue we have studied. But now how? Now we'll study how blood is transported by the gases are transported by the blood. Yes, so it is very important that how blood transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Yes. First we'll talk about the oxygen. Oxygen is carried by RBC, and RBC carry 97% of total oxygen. When we inhale the air and when oxygen is mixed into the blood, so that is actually carried by the RBC, red blood cells. RBC is red blood cells of the blood. So that carry 97% of oxygen that we have inhaled inside, and only 3% is carried by the blood plasma. Blood plasma carry only 3% of dissolved oxygen through it. Blood plasma is a blood liquid which is straw yellow colored liquid, and it contains mostly water and other organic material. So that carry 3% dissolved oxygen, and most of the oxygen is carried by the red blood cell, that is 97%. Next, carbon dioxide. This is all about the oxygen. Now we'll study about the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is carried 20 to 25% by the red blood cell. So red blood cell are responsible for carrying carbon dioxide also, but how much is just 20 to 25% from the 100%. And 70%, the major portion, major concentration, a major amount of the carbon dioxide is carried by the bicarbonate form. So it is just transported in the bicarbonate form from the blood. It is a compound bicarbonate form. So in that form, the 70% of the carbon dioxide is transported back from body cells to the blood and blood to the lungs and exhaled. And only 7% of the carbon dioxide is carried by the blood plasma in the dissolved form. So how much is 7% form, and it is in the dissolved form. So it is a dissolved form. Okay. So in this way, oxygen and carbon dioxide is transported by the blood with the help of circulatory system. So RBC, one of the important cell for carrying oxygen, because most of the oxygen is carried out 95% by the RBC, 97% by RBC, and carbon dioxide only 20 to 25% by RBC, rest of 70% in the bicarbonate form and 7% by the blood plasma in the dissolved form. So 97% RBC carry oxygen. Okay, so all the oxygen from 100%, 97% is transported by the RBC and only 3% in the dissolved form. So if you have any confusions, you can ask. First is simple oxygen, second is carbon dioxide. So most of the oxygen is carried by whom? RBC. How much? 97%. Rest of the remaining 3% by blood plasma. Carbon dioxide by RBC, how much? 20 to 25%. 70% by bicarbonate form. 7% blood plasma form. Dissolves. Yes. So if you have further doubts, you can ask directly on the WhatsApp, or you can call directly to me. Thank you so much.